I've been feeling very, well, I wouldn't say very introspective more than usual, but just pondering on something my friend was talking to me about the other day. So we were speaking about comfortability and transparency in romantic relationships and, affairs of love. Very strange subject to speak on, I know, but it was very lighthearted, and it just kind of happened. But I remember her telling me about some saying from some Asian country. I can't remember if it was Japan or China, and they talk about this concept of having three faces for every human has three faces. One that the world gets to see, one that their close ones get to see, and one that they just have for their own, their own self. Something like that. I'm sorry if I've butchered it, but you guys know what I mean, hopefully. But we were speaking about comfortability and how that allows you to essentially become super transparent and comfortable being yourself around people. And the more comfortability you have, the more at home you feel, and therefore the more transparent you'll be and the more of yourself you'll show to people. So in theory, when you're in love and you share so many deep intimate things with your loved one, but what we were speaking on is dynamics of dating at the moment and relationships and why we believed so many things were going wrong. And what you came to realize is this lack of transparency is one of the fundamental reasons why people can't truly feel attached or connected to their crush or their lover long term because they don't feel comfortable. So we came to realize that a lot of people are getting into relationships based off initial attraction, which is completely fine. And usually, initial attraction, one of the things it can aid is wanting to discover and learn and explore so many undiscovered things about a person we don't truly know, but we love them or we are super attracted to them. Therefore, we want to learn more, right? We want to know more. Piques our interest and we're intrigued by what we might discover. It's very adventurous for us. The thing is, you actually realize that these things perhaps don't actually help us. And when I mean these things, I mean that attraction, yeah, sure, allows us to initially want to get with somebody and hang out with them and chill or at least explore them, that's great. But for long term, you're gonna need so much more. So much more. I guess you could put it like this. You could say initial attraction is like the thumbnail of a YouTube video. Or, the literal book of a cover. I mean, the cover of a book, rather. Looks kind of dope. You might pick it up. But it's going to allow you to commit to read that book. Or to actually... Or to actually watch that full YouTube video. You see where I'm going with this? So how do we solve it? Is the question. truth be told, we actually have to make more of a conscious effort, I believe, to show and expose and not be afraid to, you know, attenuate, demonstrate, and display these intimate parts of ourselves, which is so hard to do because we have to trust somebody, right? And we have to know that they're worthwhile before we ever show these parts of ourselves to them. But it is absolutely a core factor in having something that's meaningful and long-lasting and everlasting and a bond that's super strong. You need it. You absolutely need it. It's definitely a good explanation as to why things aren't lasting long. The way I kind of see it is transparency in a relationship. It's kind of like so strange example, but you know when you're imagine you've got a chocolate bar, right? Or a candy bar, whatever you want to call it. And you don't want to get chocolate on your fingers, so, you take off the wrapper, but not entirely. Just enough so that you can unwrap it and expose the chocolate, but you don't take off the entire wrapper. You know what I'm saying? It's like you fold it on itself, so then you've got some part of the foil or the packaging or the wrapper that's folded that will shield your hands from chocolate and getting, super sticky and disgusting and gross. But then you've got enough of the chocolate exposed so you can eat it and indulge it and, enjoy it. And that analogy that I'm proposing is this idea of getting to know somebody. And I think the beauty in that is basically partially exposed, right? A fair amount of it can be exposed, but it's not entirely exposed. So that goes hand in hand with what my friend was telling me, with the whole idiom from Japan or China. This idea of the faces and how you've got one that is for you. I guess that's the unraveled part of the chocolate bar. That's the part we probably don't see of anybody, which is completely fine. But we need to. We've unraveled enough of that chocolate bar to actually indulge in it and see it and appreciate it and enjoy it, right? And it's delicious, man. Let's be real here. It's sweet. Yum yum yum. I think it's a great way of explaining transparency and comfortability. We get to show them us and appreciate it. But there's just a little bit of it that we don't get to see. That's completely okay. In fact, I would argue that yes, human beings should strive to know their partner or their crush or the person they're romantically interested in as much as they can. But I don't believe human beings have the capacity or the ability to know someone 100% of the time, and even if we did, that's not healthy. And the reason I say that is because our mind can't give or process understandings and intentions and behaviors holistically and thoroughly. It just can't. Because we ourselves are prone to shifts in mood and perception, as well as so many other things. So even if you did manage to, in the same analogy, unravel the entire chocolate bar, sure, you can indulge in it as much as you want, but your hands are going to get sticky. It's going to feel gross. So it's understandable that you're never going to truly be able to understand somebody entirely, but you should absolutely attempt to understand them as much as you can. But that starts by handing somebody the chocolate bar of your mind. You know what I mean? And if it's not the entire chocolate bar, then give them the mini version of it, the fun size version, But hand them something. Hand them the fun-size version of your mind, and then I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know how we got to this. The conclusion I've reached is I'm very much craving chocolate right now. To the point where I'm giving candy-based examples. Because I'm a sweetheart. If you ever truly want to feel like you have a super strong bond with somebody, especially in the endeavors of romance, you need to have the ability to be. I want to kill this guy so badly. I hate you so much, Chamber. I hope you know that. But you have to have the ability to be vulnerable, and that comes with a degree of trust. Which, of course, is hard to do. But if you see something serious occurring, and you want to pursue it, then you absolutely have to be willing to take that chance on somebody. And it's scary, and it can be terrifying. I think the reason I'm saying this is because some people perhaps aren't aware. And if they are aware, they don't know how. Honestly, ask questions. It's great to have initial attraction with people, but that can only go so far, you know? That fuel is used up super fast. And for any long-term successful relationship, I think the pinnacle of it would be marriage, right? A long, happy marriage. These people know each other. And even after, 20, 30 years together of marriage, they still need to know more. And they can still know more. And it's like they learn something new all the time. That's what's great. Because at that point, you don't just want somebody who looks good or is super hot or cute. You don't want that. Yeah, it could be a factor. But by that point in life, you want to go through the ups and downs of somebody with somebody in life, you know? We're playing Valorant, right? You want them to be your player too. That's it. You want them to be your duo, man. You go through everything together. And what better way to do it than to get acquainted? And to really get to know each other. And not feel like you have to conceal anything. Because that's how you get out of home super fast. Think about it. It's strange, but it's like... It's one thing... You know what I mean? Like, yeah, relationships now, like, hella people are together and... You'll see each other naked all the time, but you don't actually see each other naked all the time, you know? Like, mentally, you need to be naked. As much as you can. And when you can do that with somebody and they still accept you, that's when you know you got a homie for life. Or a wife or husband or girlfriend or boyfriend or a partner for life, you know? A soulmate. Because to be able to do that is so hard, but the moment you do it, boom, you're set. Because then you know you're not going to fold on each other. I know we all want it, but you have to be prepared to go out of your way to actually do stuff for that, you know? Which means vocalizing things, which means taking the first step into trusting, and to being super transparent with each other. Because it improves credibility, but also fidelity at the same time, because you trust each other's words, but you also trust each other to be there regardless. But yeah, it's just me giving you my thoughts. It's okay, guys.